Welcome to In Touch with Officer Dawn and Ray the DA. I'm your host, Jenna McNeil. Officer Dawn is back in the studio with us this week and fired up upon hearing Ray the DA's last rant, as Officer Dawn would call it. Why are Ray and OD so upset? The property crime rate has spiked due to the legislature's poor decisions. The statistics for these crimes are in, and it's not looking good. Tune in to learn more.
Welcome to In Touch Crime Beat. I'm Officer Don with Fayette Commonwealth's Attorney Ray Larson.
Out of jail, okay? Don't mess up.
And those are the people, those repeat offenders, the ones that go to prison. And
I say we're the #1 rated radio show in the whole country.
Welcome to In Touch. I'm Officer Don with Fayette Commonwealth's Attorney Ray Larson. Ray, checking out your website at lexingtonprosecutor.com, I noticed that you now have what I call a video rant or video manifesto. And you're going to do this, twice a month?
well, it's called it's it's an editorial, basically, because you don't get this point of view in the local newspapers, and even the TV stations are kind of wimpy about taking a stand on things. And I'm taking a stand on it. I've been taking a stand on things for a long time, and the thing I'm ranting about this week is the fact that our property crime in Lexington is going off the charts.
Yes, you are. And I tell you, it's a couple of minutes. Let's listen to it, and then we can discuss.
Hello, crime fighters. This is Straight Talk, and I am Ray the DA. Do you hear those footsteps? Listen. Do you hear them? That's the property crime rate in Lexington. It's coming, and it's coming to a house near you or a neighborhood near you. That's right. Lexington's crime rate was up again in July, especially the property crime rate. So what are some of these property crimes that are going through the roof right here in our town? Burglary, breaking into people's cars, stealing metal, stealing anything, big-time shoplifting, just to name a few. In July, these property crimes constituted 94% of the serious crimes that occurred in Lexington last month. Not only that, but the value of this property stolen in July was $2,300,000. That's just in July. The total value of property stolen for just the first 7 months of 2012 is a whopping $13.2 million. Only 6% of Lexington crime is what's called violent crime. Why is violent crime so low in Lexington? Simple. Because we throw those thugs in prison and keep them there. And why is the property crime in Lexington so high and getting higher by the month? That's pretty simple too. It's because under our legislature's wimpy, criminal-friendly sentencing laws, those hoodlums are left out on our streets to commit more crimes. Pretty disgusting, isn't it? Well, those laws aren't going to change until enough of our citizens become fed up with the criminals being treated better than the victims and tell their legislators about it. But from the looks of how the crime rate in Lexington is rising, that won't be long. I'm Ray the DA, and this is Straight Talk.
Okay, $13 million. Is it so far this year?
Yeah, that's just through July.
And last month, was it $2.3 million?
$2.3 million.
And when we talk about property crimes, we're talking about everything from burglary, where someone kicks in your door, breaks into your home,
goes in your garage,
takes your stuff, goes in your garage, breaking into your cars, which happened in my neighborhood while I was out of town.
How many instances?
I think they hit like 12 or 13.
There you go.
I was over in a hamburger.
Now listen to me. Not only do they take what's in the car, people leave stuff in their car, even if they lock it, but they also break windows. Mm-hmm. And so somebody's got to pay the tab on repairing the car, you see. This stolen property doesn't count the damage. If somebody steals your air conditioning unit for $40 worth of copper, $5, $6, $7, $8,000 worth of damage. That isn't counted in this $2.3 million or this $13.2 million.
It's a situation where someone will do $3,000 worth of damage stealing from an air conditioner and only get about $20 worth of copper. Of course, one of my neighbors had a solution. He said that he's just going to leave his car unlocked, take all the stuff out of it, and that way at least they won't break the window as they rummage through his vehicle. And here's something to remember. If you
I got a better idea.
What's that?
Don't leave your stuff in the car anyway,
Yeah.
or put it in the trunk. Now, one of the that's a stupid solution. Because if he has a garage door opener, what if they take the garage door opener?
Well, that's what I was just getting ready to say. Well, yeah, listen, it's a shame that we have to even think of that as a solution. Let's just leave it open, and that way, maybe they'll pass on to the next place and not hurt my car. That's the point. But we've had instances where people will leave their garage door openers in their car, and then from there, they'll use the garage door opener to get in your house. And you wake up in the middle of the night and there's somebody in your kitchen. How about that? And we often know what those kind of burglaries lead to, other very serious violent crimes. And as you said in your little presentation,
I prefer to call it an editorial opinion. A little presentation sort of is demeaning, Officer Don. I know I'm not in showbiz.
Your height.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can tell.
The issue is, I forgot. Hold on. Presentation. I'll mark this. You mentioned that violent crimes are down in Lexington. The reason is they're keeping those people in jail.
Yeah.
Or more of those people in jail.
For longer periods of time. You see, I watched a thing you did on Channel 27 involving, that we talked about, and that was involving the guy that broke into the car, stole 2 knives. Gabriel Rojas did the story, and then he talked to you because you not only were a homicide detective, you were also a burglary detective, so you got knowledge about these things. And we talked about how breaking into a car resulted in giving the thug a ticket because of this new law, which is, of course, ridiculous.
Yeah, and the victim in that case actually contacted the TV station, not furious at the police officer, furious that the police officer couldn't do anything, because this was a case where the officer caught the guy stealing. In the middle of the night, knocks on the door and says, "Hey, do you know this guy? Is this your stuff?" "No, I don't know this guy." "And yeah, that is my stuff." "Well, apparently he's, broken into your car and he's stolen it, so I'm going to give him a ticket." And she says, "Ticket? Heck, put him in jail." Officer can't. I mean, they've been limited in their authority. In most of these everyday crimes that they see, they're supposed to write tickets now instead of take people to jail. Well, the thieves know this. It's a small world in thiefdom. It gets around, okay, and they talk and they understand that the cops are limited in what they can do now.
Do you know? And this is what you said on that particular piece. I think you in Showbiz called it for the TV station. You said something that's true, and that is these people are real predatory, repeat offenders. People who break into cars don't break into just one car. The same person probably broke into all 12 cars in your neighborhood. You see? So if you put that person in custody, just put him in custody for 12 months. That gives people some relief from these bums for at least 12 months. But don't just give them a ticket and say go and sin no more, because guess what? This is what they do.
Well, Ray, how do you defend the argument that if we don't let these people out or not send them to prison, if we send them to prison, we're not going to have room for violent offenders? Because that's touchy for people. People are like, if I'm given the choice, I want the violent people locked up. Because that's the position that the legislature seems to have put people in. They're like, look, if you want us to keep the violent ones locked up, we've got to let all the nonviolent go.
Okay, well, let me tell you. If 94% of the serious crime in Lexington was property crime, that means 6% of the crime in Lexington is violent crime. You see, the violent crime that basically doesn't affect many people. It really doesn't.
Yeah, I understand this.
Now, but 94% of the crime, it occurs everywhere in this county, even out in Big Bucks Acres where you live. What happens is people get discouraged, Officer Don, because they say nothing is happening to the vast majority of the thugs. How do I justify it? People pay taxes for the government to do what government's supposed to do. Everything it can to guarantee the safety and security of its people. Now this baloney about violent crime, it's 6% of the crime, for crying out loud. You can probably, if you put these prolific property criminals in, guess what? If you put the one guy that committed the 12 in your neighborhood and probably as many elsewhere in custody, what are you doing? You're putting a one-man crime wave away for a while. Give me a break. Give us a break. That's what I'm paying.
Tune into the following stations to hear the full episode.